Okay, so this question basically is on symmetric property equal chords, question 1.2. Now, for this, right, we have two parallel chords of a circle. RCM are 3 cm apart. Then, given that the CD is equals to 14 and EF is equals to 7, we need to find the value of R. Okay, so there are two scenarios that actually come out in my head, which I also not sure which one will it be. So we will probably have to think through the two scenarios and we see whether it makes sense or not, right? So the first one is that if I have two parallel chords, right, they could be very far apart or they could be near each other. So one thing on my mind is I'm thinking that, okay, if it's possible, the thing that I could have probably EF, okay, let's look at this circle, right, on one side, which is 7 cm, sorry, EF over here, which is 7 cm, right, this is the 7 cm one, and then I have a one that's probably closer to the center, right, this is a longer one, right, that will be CD, okay, it's not drawn to scale, so sorry for that, right, just seek your understanding. All right, so over here, there could be another case where we have EF, both of them on the same side of the center. So we have EF over here, which is 7 cm. At the same time, we have CD over here, which is also equals to 14 cm. So there are two possible cases, right? So which one is correct, or could both be correct, or only one is correct? Then we have to find out, right? So first, if I look at this, right, okay, so how am I going to go about doing this question is I will try to draw a right angle triangle. Okay, I'll try to draw a right angle triangle here, right? So the one in red here, all right? This point line over here, I'm just going to call it the radius. I'm just going to call it the radius, right? Since it's basically from the center to point D, right? And another triangle there in green, right? This line over here also be called the radius as well, right? We know that the CD and EF are 3 cm apart, so this whole entire distance, perpendicular distance between CD and EF, right, would be basically 3 cm apart. So I'm going to call because for use of a Pythagoras, I'm going to call this part as X. Okay, I'm going to call this part as X. And because they add up to 3 cm, this segment here will be 3 minus X. Now, using the symmetric property tool, we know that perpendicular bisector of chord, right? That means this part here, right? If this is 7, right? My length over here, because it's perpendicular bisector, it will cut it into 2. So this will be 3.5 cm. At the same time, this line over here will be 7 cm because perpendicular bisector of chord will say that this is half of 17. Similarly, this is half of 3.5. Okay, so here the how we're going to solve for R will first be, maybe we can do by solving for X. All right, so over using the red triangle, right, I can find using Pythagoras theorem, I can deduce that my R square is equals to X square plus 7 square, right, by using Pythagoras theorem. Okay, using Pythagoras theorem. All right, and over on this green color triangle here, again using Pythagoras theorem, I can say that R square is 3.5 square plus 3 minus X square. Okay, so R square will be the common variable between both equation, right? Between equation 1 and equation 2, I now can equate them together, right? So because R square will be the same as 7 square plus X square, it will also be the same as 3.5 square plus 3 minus X square, right? Because this is my R square, using both the red triangle as well as the green triangle. Now from here, let me just open it up slowly. The 7 square plus X square is the same as 3.5 square plus A square minus 2AB plus B square. I have X square on both sides, so I'm going to cancel off, right? Then after which, I find that, okay, if I want to find my 6x would be like 3.5 square plus 9 subtract 7 square. I have my x to turn out to be 1/6 of sorry, negative, my x turns out to be a negative number, right? So my x here turns out to be negative 37 over 8. But then which I will reject because I need x to be positive, right? Because x here is a length, right? It cannot be negative. So that's where I realized, maybe this scenario is not true after all. So which will bring us to the second scenario where both chords, right, they may not be on opposite sides. They may actually be on the same side. Same scenario, right? I'm going to use a red triangle to represent probably the first one, the one with 7 cm, and the one with a green triangle here to represent the second triangle, right? So the one in green, there's a radius. Similarly, right, over here, there's also a radius from the center, right? This would be 3.5 cm. Now, because there are 3 cm apart, right? So I know that this part will be 3. Over here, I'm just going to call this x. I'm just going to call this x, huh? Okay, so this is x, this is 3. This triangle here, I have 3 plus x, 3.5, as well as r. So my equation here, using Pythagoras again, I can have 3 plus x squared added with 3.5 squared equals to r squared. Alright, on the other side, with my green triangle, I can say that r squared is 7 squared plus x squared. Right, this is 7 r squared. So again, equating these two, right, by using the same r squared as my common variable, my r squared can be 7 squared plus x squared. It can also be 3 plus x squared plus 3.5 squared by using both the red and the green triangle over here in scenario 2. Okay, now from here, then I equate. So I have 7 squared plus x squared, the same as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared plus 3.5 squared. Cancelling out x squared on both sides, I will probably land up to have my x to be 37 over 8. Right, so this is x, which is 37 over 8. So it's saying that this part here is 37 over 8. Okay, this part here is 37 over 8. Right, so just think. So with that, what can we have found our x, right? All we need to do is just to go and find our r. So using this triangle, right, I know that r squared is 7 squared plus x squared. So r will just be the square root of 7 squared plus x squared. And I will get my r to be approximately 8.39 cm, corrected to 3 sig fig, right? Just by a calculation, and you will get the answer. Okay, thank you.